Hello and welcome to class ninth, subject English, book Beehive, poem 6 No Men Are Foreign by James Kirkup. The title No Men Are Foreign means that no men belong to another country. The poet wants to say that all men are same, all men are equal. He wants to promote the concept of universal brotherhood. In this poem, the poet wants to tell us that everyone in this world is same. All people, all men are same and equal, that they eat, they live, and they die too, in the same manner as other people do, or the foreigners do. Everyone gets the bounties of nature like sunshine, land, etc. in equal measures. We can also say that it is a peace poem. Now let's know about our poet James Kirkup. James Falconer Kirkup was an English poet, translator, and travel writer. He wrote over 30 books, including autobiographies, novels, and plays. He wrote under many pen names, including James Falconer, Aditya Jha, Andrew James, etc. He became a Fellow of the Royal Society of Literature in 1962. He born on 23rd April 1918, England, and died on 10 May 2009 in Andorra. Now let's start the poem by line reading and explanation. Remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes, like ours. The land our brothers walk upon is earth like this, in which we all shall lie. So, in the first stanza, the poet wants to say that no men are strange. Strange here means stranger, unknown person, and no country is foreign. So, he is attempting to remove the borders from the earth which have been erected to separate different countries. Then, only no country will be foreign. We will feel every country as our own land when there will be no boundaries or borders. Everyone will be free to move around. The poet wants to say that the entire earth is one and all people who live on this earth belong to one human race. Then he says that inside the uniforms worn by the soldiers of different countries, the human being is the same. God has made all of us in the similar manner. All breathe in the same way. Then he says that all the soldiers are brothers. We all walk upon the same Mother Earth, and upon our death shall lie in the grave in the same earth. Here, grave means kabr. In the second stanza, they too aware of sun and air and water are fed by peaceful harvest, by words long winter starved. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read a labor not different from our own. Here, the stanza means they refers to those people who belong to other countries. We call them foreigners and discriminate them and fight with them also. The poet says that nature has given all the bounties to all people, also just like He has given to us. Everyone gets sunlight, air, and water in equal measures, which means that God does not differentiate between people from different countries. We all do farming during the time of peace when there is no war. We live a relaxed life and eat the things given to us by nature. Further, he adds that the way we starve during the wars and winter time is the same for those belonging to other countries. Even they don't get food at that time. So, he wants to say that foreigners who belong to another country and we both are same. And then the poet says that even their hands are same as ours. They work very hard just like we do. He is giving all these examples to convey to the reader that there is no difference in us and the people belonging to another country. Third stanza. Remember, they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, and strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understood. The poet asks the readers to remember something. He says that we should keep in mind that the people of another country whom we think to be our enemies, whom we think to be our enemies, have been bestowed by God with similar appearance like us. God has given them eyes like ours, which open when awake and close when we are asleep. Similarly, He has given them strength which we can win through love. Then he says that in every country, in every land, there is a one common thing, that is life. Life means all the things that are living, and if we can recognize them and if we can understand their feelings and realize that they are like us, then there will be no fights or wars between us. Now, in the fourth stanza, let us remember whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispose, betray, contempt. Remember, we who take arms against each other. So the poet says that we should remember that whenever someone tells us to hate a person from another country, to think him as our enemy, and whenever we think someone to be our enemy, then we deprive ourselves. When we cheat ourselves and we condemn ourselves, he says that we should stay away from such negativity. We should not consider anyone to be our enemy. During a war, both the parties must bear the loss. And that is why the poet says that the war is not in our favor. He says that whenever we pick any weapon against someone, we should remember one thing. We should keep in mind that whenever we pick weapons against any person, we make the earth dirty, because weapons kill people and their bodies which fall on the earth make it dirty. Now, in the fifth stanza, it is the human earth that is defiled. Our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. Remember, no men are foreign, no countries are strangers. So, in this paragraph, we got to know that on this earth no man is foreign, and whenever war happens, it leads to a lot of bloodshed, fire, and death. These dead bodies accumulate on the earth, and it make it impure. The fire of war which erupts, the smoke which comes out the dust which fills the air. It is so dirty that it pollutes and outrages the purity of the air. With all these things, the poet wants to give us a message that we should not indulge in a war. Finally, he ends the poem by writing the first line in reverse and saying that remember, no men are foreign and no countries are strange. Now, student, I hope you have understood the explanation of the poem, which is not too difficult but having a deeper meaning. So, now let's discuss about the figure of speeches which is used in this poem. Figure of speeches, literary devices too. In this poem, students, the rhyme scheme, the entire poem is written in a free word style. There is no rhyme scheme in this poem. Alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of the consonant sounds in two or more closely placed words. Is called alliteration. The instances of alliteration in this poem are stanza first, body repeated words. Here you can see, students, that body is written over here, and here you can see beneath, here beneath, body, breathe. BB is there. Second is wars. Here you can see walk, which we is used. Here wars and winter is used. Aware, water. Next figure of speech let's talk about is metaphor. In the stanza first only you can see here you can see uniforms. Uniform refers to the different countries' soldiers' dress or uniform. He is talking about that uniform which belongs to the military of different countries. And wartime, it is a metaphor, is a comparison between two different things. So wartime means time is compared with the another time, that is metaphor. So wartime is compared to the winter season. So it is what? It is metaphor. Now third figure of speech is repetition. Repetition is the repeated words or sentences in your poem. So in the stanzas you can see Remember word is used in each and every paragraphs. Here you can see in the third para, remember is there. So these are repeated. Now let's talk about another figure of speech, that is enjambment. Enjambment is the running lines of poetry from one line to the next without using any kind of punctuation to indicate a stop. So students, while reading the poem, you must have feel that this poem is little bit strange as it is not carrying any figure of speech. So enchantment, here it is. They are the running lines of poetry from one line to the next without using any kind of punctuation to indicate a stop. So you can see in the first stanza, students, line second, beneath all uniforms a single body breathes. So this is what this is. Enjambment means without any full stop. The statement is not ending with any full stop. So like this only in each and every paragraph you can see the third line here. Okay, here you can see in the second and third both, first also, first, second, third, hen it is carrying enjambment without full stop, any punctuation mark. It is moving. So like this in the next paragraph also you can find the enjambment used. I hope you have understood the poem. Here are some questions which you have to do in your copy. If any doubt is there related to your chapters, you can ask to me through the comment box. Thank you very much.